guys are having a good weekend out there. You're having a good day. It is officially March. Finally, we are into some better weather. And this episode is going to be a nice mellow one. So I have a guest appearance today. We have Jess joining us.
Hi. Hello, my name's Jess Guinan. I am a personal trainer and nutrition coach, and I wouldn't say I'm an I guess kinda. I feel like I'm not very influential but yeah.
So I can't even remember how I found Jess on Instagram, honestly. I don't know. I guess I got influenced.
And
then I followed her. But then she was doing like an 8-week, how would you describe it? Like an 8-week fitness challenge.
A supplement company that shall not be named. They do these challenges, and I was a coach through that. So then Maggie was my first person to join. And she was a lot like me. Like, you were really tall, really, really skinny. Mm-hmm. And you just wanted to be buff. And I don't know, I feel like that was very memorable for me, like, obviously.
Well, and for me too, because I mean, we kind of talked about this before, but that was right when Daniel was deploying for the first time that we had been together. And so I was all dramatic and emotional in my feelings because he was gone. And we were lifting together at that time. We didn't really have a strict routine or anything like that. And so Daniel left, I was here, and I was like, what am I going to do with all my time? So I was like, I'll get Big Body Swole. And then I happened to see Jess. She put out something, and she's like, hey, we're doing an 8-week challenge, join, yada, yada. And so I did. And so then she helped with my macro. Dude, you did so much. You, like, tracked my macros. You were like, girl, you are not taking in nearly enough protein. Like, you got to up those numbers. And it was really cool because normally the fitness influencers that you see online and on social media, they are gorgeous. They are beautiful. They are not real people. They are very edited. And you can just kind of tell that they're not real. Also, there weren't very many tall, skinny, lean girls that have my type of frame. And so it's hard to find people that look like you or to find people that are kind of in the same boat as you. And so that's why I was super stoked when I found Jess, because I was like, heck yeah, like, she did it. She's a beefcake. Like, if she can do it, so can I. Because everyone else is like, I'm 5'2", and, I have this great metabolism. And I'm like, well, that doesn't help me. Like, I need someone that used to look like me, And then I found Jess, so.
That's kind of why I made my page, honestly, because every fitness girl that I would find that was, like, buff was just so not like my body type. Mm-hmm. And then I was just like, I'm going to start posting. Yeah, so then, I don't know, I guess that's how it all started for me.
So when did you get your start? I'm going to call you an influencer, because I feel like you are an influencer.
I feel weird, but yeah, I guess technically, kinda.
Like, what time frame was that?
Oh, God. Like, when I started getting a lot of followers?
Or just in general, when you were like, hey, no one else looks like me on social media, like, I want to do this, I want to put out content for other people? It was like after I started working out, so I was like 19, so it was like 2016 probably. And I don't know, I just started posting. I knew no one was seeing it, but I don't know, it was kind of to keep me accountable at the same time. So gotcha. Even now looking back, like, that's where I get most of my pictures for, like, Transformation Tuesday and stuff like that. I just scroll back because I just wanted to keep track of everything. Nice. So that's cool. Yeah. So it just kind of basically, like, happened accidentally that you turned into an influencer?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Like, when I started getting a lot of followers, it was because of my Wonder Woman cosplay. It was,
it's pretty good.
Well, it was okay, but one of the stupid little, like, 7-second TikToks I posted went kind of viral, I guess. And it was on, like, 9gag and Reddit and all this other stuff. And
dang.
Yeah, so that was...
You're the real deal.
Kinda. It was very stressful, but that's when I started getting followers. I just got lucky, I guess. I don't know.
So then, you've been doing this for a while then. Overall, how has the experience been? Let's hear the nitty gritty, like pros, cons.
Pros are definitely that I get to meet and like connect with so many people, like you and I.
Mm-hmm.
Like this would not be happening if I never put myself out there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or like we just did the Arnold, and that would have never happened. Like I would have never met all these people from Arms Race if I just didn't do any of this. So that's kind of cool, just meeting all these people from like everywhere in the world. But the cons, the cons, man. There's
the cons are
the
conning.
cons. I like took a break from like social media and like training for like a year and a half, and I just started back up kind of. But it was because I got in my head a lot. Mm-hmm. After that video went viral, I got a lot of comments, a lot of negative comments, and then I don't know, it just kind of added up a lot. Like it kind of sucks more when it's other girls bringing you down, you know? Mm-hmm. But then also, I was just telling Casey and Cole about this earlier, but I started getting a lot of like threats.
Jeez.
Yeah, from dudes. And that's when it kind of got weird for me. Like that's when, I don't know, it all built up and I got really in my head. And then I kind of stopped for a while.
Well, I mean, that's the hard part too is, you know, the pro is when you are like such a public figure and you have such presence online, I can see where that can be tough because a pro is, you know, you're giving other people like me hope, like, hey, this is possible without steroids. Like, hey, you know, it can be done. And you get all those positive interactions and you can help other people and you can normalize. That's my big thing is like normalize all of the body types, right? But then with that, obviously does come the negative of like people have a lot of stuff to say online. You know, people can be very, very critical. And so I was going to ask you that too, like how do you manage that, I guess? Because that's got to be kind of tough on your mental health a bit, no?
Yeah, definitely.
Like just especially in the fitness realm, like body dysmorphia is real, you know? And I've kind of talked about it a little bit in past episodes, but is that something that you've seen or like how do you combat that?
Body dysmorphia? I think body dysmorphia is a big reason as to why I started working out in the first place. Just because I don't know, like every day is kind of different. Like some days I'm like, geez, I'm like really scrawny, and other days I'm like, wow, I'm fat. Like I think I'm fat. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but like I just get in my head a lot. So it's like hard for me to see what my body actually looks like because I just get in my head about it. And then with like social media too, like how you were saying, everyone edits themselves, everyone chooses the perfect lighting and and which I'm guilty of. Like I do like choosing the perfect lighting because it does make you feel better. But so yeah, and then like all the comments too. I mean I wouldn't say I have like a way to overcome it. I still struggle, like seeing people say all these negative things about my body still sucks. And it does affect me. Like I already know, I am aware of what my insecurities are, and then having people just call them out all the time just doesn't really help at all.
Dude, props to you, because it's hard to put yourself out there. It's hard to make yourself vulnerable.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like you said, especially coming from other girls, like that's the worst.
Yeah.
You know, that's
like
tough.
I can handle a dude telling me he wouldn't, you know, date me or like that I'm too manly or whatever. But when it's a girl saying I would never look like that, that's disgusting. That's like a whole other, you know.
I could spend probably hours psychoanalyzing them, because my thing is like, okay, if you feel that way, fine. Why do you feel it necessary to leave the comment? And like why are you following? Like just don't leave the comment, you know?
And like I don't know, since like that video went viral, that was like 4 years ago. So like I finally went to therapy since then. And that kind of helped a lot, because like I learned that I can't really control the way things are. I can only change the way that I react to it. And I also learned that like this is just them being insecure about something. Like they don't like the way they look, so they're projecting it onto me. And that kind of makes it easier, because I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me necessarily. They're just, because let's be honest, like I was young once and I would leave hate comments on people for no fucking reason. And then I realized, like, once I got older, it was just because I hated myself and I hated my body, and I just wanted to bring other people down with me. So you just, I don't know, sometimes it's easier to look at it like that and just be like, you know, at least they gave me a view or something. But other days, like if I'm already struggling mentally, it's definitely harder.
So when you kind of, once that video went viral and once you kind of, I guess, crossed into that realm of like, all right, I'm kind of technically an influencer now, which I don't really know where that line is.
I don't either. That's why I don't know. I don't.
How was it received by your friends and family? Were they pretty supportive, or did you get some?
I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. Like, I feel like my friends have, like, they're my friends for a reason. Like, they're supportive. I don't think they really cared or noticed, like, what was, because a lot of my friends don't really go on social media. So aside from me sharing like that 9gag video, that's when people were like, oh shit. But aside from that, I don't think they really care. But my family, like, I don't know, like being Hispanic, you don't want to look like a man. I'm doing air quotes here. You want like a very feminine body. Like that's what everyone wants. Like a big butt, small waist, stuff like that. So like, I don't know, when I first started getting into lifting, I did have like some comments like, no one's gonna want you if you look like that and blah blah blah. And this was before I met Casey. And yeah, so that was kind of shitty, but everyone's like come around to it. Like, I'm really good with boundaries, even before therapy. I just kind of like, if you love me, you're gonna love me no matter what I want to do with my body, you know?
Dude, teach me your ways. Oh my gosh. You know how hard that is? Ugh.
I mean, yeah, and like, especially with like past relationships, like I would bend over backwards to try to please these people. And then I realized that those people left my life because they didn't love me. They only loved a certain version of me. Not me.
Yeah.
As a whole.
I'm glad though that you at least, that your friends were supportive of you going the influencing route, because I guess I'd never thought of it from that perspective before, but lately I've had a couple people talking to me in passing, and they've made kind of weird comments about their acquaintances and coworkers that are posting a lot of content on social media. And like, they're not influencers yet, but like they're trying to do that, like they're trying to do some of the trends and stuff. And some of these people would make comments and they're like, oh, who do they think they are? An influencer? Like, well, what are they doing? And I was like, sorry, is that a bad thing? Like,
yeah.
Did I miss that social cue? Like, why is it a bad thing if people are influencers? Like, if they do want to share their lives with other people, if they want to share what they're passionate about with other people and reach more people that are similar to them.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I do struggle with that. Like, I have noticed that if I go out with friends, I don't really take pictures or videos or anything like I normally would if I were alone, which is like why during COVID I was so active, because I was just training and like we were all required to stay home, so I didn't really see anyone anyway.
I just think it's kind of frustrating and it's kind of discouraging when you see people like just hating on others for doing what makes them happy. Like, that's honestly what it kind of boils down to, and that's why I'm like, let people do what makes them happy. Like, if they want to post the books that they've read, let them do that. If they want to post the get ready with me, whatever. If they want to post like, oh, look at these cool clothes I just got, let them do that. That's my thing. You know?
And then like Casey has had to talk to me about this because like at work, people will be like, oh, I saw your TikTok, and then I feel like shame. Just because like when I post stuff, it's like me being vulnerable and not expecting anyone, especially people that I know, to see it. And so then I'm like, I don't know if I can post, and then Casey has to be like especially people at work, he's like, you don't want to do that forever. Like, you're doing something that scares people, and you shouldn't be embarrassed or ashamed of that. And then I always have to think about that because I notice that I do stop posting and stuff, especially around like my friends.
Aww.
And I didn't even realize that until you brought that up, because like now, like when we went to the Arnold, I was around people who also want to do this, and I was like, oh, I can I can take pictures, like it's okay, and post it on my story, like it's encouraged. And it was just like, I don't do that around my own friends. So that was a weird shift. Yeah.
Well, it's so cool too when you can find your group of people that are like-minded, that have those similar interests, where you are kind of going the same path in life. I don't know, it's like very encouraging, I think.
Yeah, like when you're around people that are working towards something, especially something similar to what you're working towards, like it just motivates you to want to do better. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because your Instagram, I don't have TikTok, sorry, but your Instagram at least, which I'm assuming you post the same stuff on both platforms, or no?
Kinda. Sometimes I post other stuff on TikTok just because I feel like more people that I know in real life follow me on Instagram.
Oh.
So it's like less shameful for me. But yeah, so it's a lot of the same stuff.
Well, at least like your Instagram, which is honestly like a big reason why I actually followed you and stuff, was because it's very real. Like it's cool because like when you watch your videos, when I watch your stories and stuff, it's like I'm actually interacting with you and not just this like social figure that exists in the clouds. You know, it's like a real person.
That makes me so happy.
Well, no, it is, because it's like, it's relatable, but it's also like your personality just kind of like shines through, I guess. And so it's like, you can tell, this sounds so weird to say out loud, but it's like when you look at your content, you can tell what type of person you are in a good way. And like, you can tell your personality traits and your little quirks, and like, it's like I know you as a person, even though, you know, I've never actually like met you before this.
Yeah, like when I saw you, it just felt like we knew each other, you know? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I go for though, so thank you. But
that's good.
Like, I don't want to be fake. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, obviously your main thing is fitness.
Yeah.
But I love that you also have bits of your personality and your like normal day-to-day life in there too. Because sometimes I saw a video of it and I loved how this guy said it, but he basically said like, don't compartmentalize your life for social media. Like, if you have a niche audience, and let's say that's fitness, or let's say that's the Bookstagram, or like whatever the case may be, if you only post that content, they're like, you're allowed to like other stuff too. Like, you don't have to put your life and your hobbies into little boxes, you know?
Do you want to know what's weird?
Yeah.
Like, because I post so heavily about fitness, whenever I do like a get ready with me, or like anything with makeup or anything like that, people like hate it.
Really?
Yeah, like I get so many comments that are like, this is boring, why are you doing this? And I'm just like, this is something I enjoy doing. Like,
well, also that's you.
Yeah.
Like, that is also a component of your personality.
Yeah.
So, man, people are mean. But
people always have something to say. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's the moral of the story. Is like, they're always gonna have something to say. So you just
you just do what makes you happy. That's always been my thing.
Because I was thinking about, because I feel like I'm really like leaning into this podcast a lot lately, and I was kind of toying with the idea of setting up like a separate Instagram for the podcast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just only post podcast content on that page instead of my own. And at first I was thinking of doing that, but then honestly I saw that guy's video and I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, I shouldn't have to compartmentalize my life. The only thing I will say though is, now that I do have the baby, I'm like, I'm still a little weird about like, do I want to post my baby in a public setting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, literally like on the public settings versus private settings.
Yeah.
Like, I still feel a little weird about that, I think.
Yeah, so like, I have a private Instagram, which I've never posted anything on it, but I made it with like, I don't know, in case we do ever have a kid or something, because I don't want to share that with the whole world. I don't want them to know what they look like.
Right.
You know?
I've seen too many like horror stories of people. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the perverts out there that do things with innocent pictures. So I made that to keep like pictures in case we do ever have a kid or anything, or like our nephew. I started posting him a little more, but I don't really ever say his name. And I also always get permission, and I also don't like posting him just because I know they can be creepy and I don't like it. So that's like one area that I do keep separate, but everything else, it's like, Like, I'm not a mom right now, so, like, obviously I don't have to keep that separate. But everything else, I'm just, I don't know, like, that's who I am. And I agree, like, they like your podcast, so, like, you're not just a podcast. So, like, you have other hobbies, you have other interests, you live life.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I know a lot of people do, like, separate Instagrams for, like, fitness and personal, too, but I don't know, I get bored of just posting fitness stuff. Like, I have other hobbies.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's not your only identity, you know?
Yeah.
And it's crazy, too, talking about kids. I did a little research, I guess, if you could call it that. So it's wild because, like, when we were growing up, which also, side note, it's wild that we are not this generation. We are the past generation now, which I hate
adults.
saying that. I hate it. But yeah, so anyway, so, like, when we were growing up and stuff, it was always like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And everyone, you know, you throw out whatever, like, I want to be an astronaut, and I want to be a teacher, and I want to be a cop, and I want to, I want to be president, all these things, right? And now, Gen Z, when you ask some of these kids, and I'm talking like middle schoolers, they are not saying those same jobs. So I found an article, and this was published back in September, and 57% of Gen Zers said that they would like to become an influencer if given the chance. And they're also saying that, I'm like, oof, y'all are off on this. More than half of Gen Zers, quote, believe people can easily make a career in influencing. Which I think, I'm like, ooh, y'all are going down the slippery slope there. Because I will say, like, it's not easy. Like, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Not only that, it's like, if it comes to you easily, like, it can be taken away that easily. And then if they don't develop skills to, like, have other jobs or, like, a backup, then I feel like it's really hard to get a normal job after you've just been influencing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and plus, I feel like we see, as the absorber of this content, I feel like we see the 20 and the 30-second videos, and we're like, oh, you get paid how much for a 30-second video? But it's like, you know how much time goes into recording and editing and re-recording and producing, like, all this stuff. Like, it is a lot of work. But yeah, like you said, it's like, okay, you get your viral video, and then something else comes along and that's more popular, and then that's it. But yeah, this article also says that 3 in 10 young people would pay to become an influencer. So, like, which I guess you do have to pay some, like, at least in some way, just the upfront cost of, like, buying a better phone or a camera, or, like, the recording equipment, the lighting, stuff
the
like
ring
that.
lights. I have so many ring lights.
It's wild. It's also a little sad, like, if you kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because a lot of the reasons why people are listing why they want to be an influencer, and, a lot of them are saying, like, oh, they can do it on their own time, doing something fun, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get if you don't want to work a corporate 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
But also, don't you think it's a little sad that kids, like children, are so focused on making money?
Yeah, that, and also, like, I don't know, like, the mental toll that this must take, Like, I went into this as an adult, and it's been a struggle. I can't imagine, like, when you're still developing all your thoughts and, and just having everyone say negative things about you.
And especially, like, when you're that young, because people, like, kids are mean. High schoolers are so mean. And social media already is mean enough. Like, I know in one of my previous episodes on social media usage, like, I talk about some of the negative effects. I mean, the obvious one, like the cyberbullying, the lower self-esteem, the mental health issues, the isolation feelings, like, all of that stuff. And so to kind of put a kid into that environment seems like it'd be kind of tough. But it's also, I don't know, I feel like when I was that age, I wasn't thinking of, okay, what can I do to make a lot of money? I was like, I don't know, playing in the woods and, like, doing other stuff. You know
playing
what I mean?
in the woods.
Like, that wasn't like that was not in the back of my mind at all. So
really?
That part, I don't
you
think so.
You never like made like videos with your friends or anything?
I don't know. I feel like I wasn't thinking of like, hey, what career path can I choose that will make me the most money?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true. But
because a lot of these like articles that I'm seeing, like all of them, they're saying like, oh yeah, we can, you can make a lot of money so you can buy this stuff. And,
jeez.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's kind of sad, isn't it?
I feel like that's also like a big misconception. Like that's a question I get asked by like my friends a lot, is like how much I make from social media, and it's not as much as everyone thinks. Like even in my viral days, I did not make that much money.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like especially now, it's like the micro trends and everything, like you get it so quickly and then you lose it so quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. They also, I've been seeing a lot of like content creation camps. So instead of like science camp or like, Girl Scout camp, any of that stuff that we used to go to as kids, now it's literally like content creation camps. So this is from the Washington Post. This was published November 7th, so pretty recently. And they bring in a lot of content from these children, like ages 6 to 13, that are going to these camps. And they're all saying like, I think I'd be happy doing YouTube. It'd be a great experience, blah, blah, blah. But like this kid, he began watching videos on YouTube when he was 3 or 4. And that's when he decided he wanted to be a YouTuber.
He just said, oh.
Yeah. And I was like,
that's very young.
How do you have like permanent memories at 3 and 4 years old, And
then you decide your whole...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. So this one specifically, this creator camp is what it's called. It's a summer program. And it's not just content creation, but it's also like recording, producing, like literally how they phrase it is how to chart a path to success in the digital age. So it's like the whole shebang. But it was founded 2 years ago by a group of content creators. And it's every summer, but it's as many as 1,300 campers in 11 locations across Texas. Next year they expect to have 18 locations. So it's booming, right? Like it's definitely taking off. But yeah, like here's another poll that they listed where 30% of kids ages 8 to 12 list YouTuber as their top career choice. It's wild how much it's packing up, but it's cool too because a lot of colleges are starting to pick up on this trend too. So like Cornell, University of Cali at LA, University of Southern California, East Carolina University, they're all adding programs and courses centered around social media marketing and content creation.
I mean, in a way, I think it's kind of cool because, like, not everyone's super into science, Like, it's a nice artistic, like, I don't know, and you can also get, like, videography skills and stuff like that. So it's, like, a nice way for, like, the more creative kids to kind of have an outlet like that.
Yeah.
I think that's cool, but it's when they, like, push, like, I don't know, I feel like that can get really bad really quickly. Because, like, doing anything for fame. But, like, learning the creative process of it is pretty cool.
Yeah, because I think the self-expression is cool. But, yeah, it's just, like I said, there's a lot of these comments, like Camper Colin, 9 years old, saying YouTubers make a lot of money. Oh, no. And I'm like, you poor sweet boy. Like, you were in for such a hard time when you realize, like, it's not that easy to consistently make that much money. So I wonder if it's kind of, I don't know. But then also I'm like, how are you supposed to rain on these kids' parade?
But then again, like, it's also, like, do you think the parents are kind of, because, like, if you see someone else's kid making a lot of money, like, you don't want to work a 9 to 5, so you're like, oh, I made this child who can make me so much money.
I've definitely, ever since, I had Carmina, I've obviously been going much more down the Instagram path of, like, parenting styles and, is this normal? All those things, right? So it's a lot of, like, baby content lately. And there are a lot of parents who kind of, like, I feel like they kind of take advantage of their infants. Like, I do think sometimes they take it a little bit too far. Like, some of the stuff they'll post, and it's like, these poor babies are, like, screaming their heads off. And it's like, come on.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think sometimes, I think you can take it too far with kids, especially if you're just doing it to capitalize on it and to make money and to get that, like, clickbait, you know? Yeah, they kind of are exploiting them.
Yeah. And
so,
I don't know, because, like, growing up, like, we watched movies and we watched shows, but we weren't like, I want to be an actor so I can make a lot of money. So I feel like they're getting this from somewhere, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's coming from someone else, because kids don't just naturally think about money.
Yeah, and this one, I don't know, maybe we should just send this quote to all of those kids, because in that same Washington Post article, they did an analysis of the actual, like, consistent income that some of these YouTubers were seeing. And they said that 85% of YouTube traffic went to just 3% of the channels, and more than 96% of YouTubers make less than the U.S. federal poverty line.
See, that's what I'm saying.
It's like, are we telling the children that? Like
it's
don't
glamorized.
quit your day job,
yeah,
you know?
It's very glamorized, and everyone's like, oh, I'm going to make so much money, but in all actuality, like, you don't make that much money.
I don't know. I get if you're doing it, like I said, to make a difference, to reach out to other people, to just have your outlet for self-expression. But I don't think that money... I mean, I feel like the money would be a nice benefit. Like, if you're lucky enough to be able to do something that just truly makes you happy and you get paid for it, that's awesome. But I don't know. I kind of feel bad for these kids a little bit. If they're, you know...
It's a whole different time out there. It's I don't know. Kids and social media, that's a weird subject.
I know. I got to figure out what I'm going to do once Carmina gets older, because I don't know.
Yeah, I think
have no
about
idea
that.
What I'm going to do.
I am nowhere near having a kid, and I think about this stuff. Like, when do you allow them to start this? And then, like, I don't know about you, but I did stuff behind my parents' backs. So, like, even if you tell her no, she might find a way. Mm-hmm. And then is it more dangerous for her to, like, do it behind your back? Because then she might be talking to... Yeah, it's a whole thing, man.
It's wild out there. But I do feel like it's kind of the future, though. Like, it definitely is...
Well, like, have you noticed that, like, movie theaters don't exist anymore?
I know.
Like,
it's like a retro thing that's like for the people that are like, ooh, let's go do something quirky. Let's go see a movie in a movie theater. Like, oh no. Yeah, there's like, it's like 3 the hipster movies thing to playing. Do now. Yeah. Dude, it's insane. We're getting old. I know. I don't like it. What is happening?
I know, and like social media is just and like streaming services. That's where it's all at.
Yeah.
It's a weird time.
It is. What advice do you have for people if they are wanting to take that first step, but maybe they're kind of scared to? If they're like, ooh, should I not post this? Because what if people, make weird comments about, oh, are you trying to be an influencer?
I mean, I say just post it and then be aware that people are going to give you crap about it, but just... like, you're trying to do something. Like, focus on your goal. Like, people would try to drag you down to wherever they are. And if you wouldn't take advice from them, like, if you don't want to be like them, don't let their comments affect you like that.
Heck yeah.
And also, like, you can change your personality to, like, get more views. But, like, I feel like you should just be yourself. Like, like, don't try to be controversial about everything just for views. Or, like, don't try to... be someone you're not. Just be yourself, and then the right people will find you. And if people don't click with you, then it wasn't meant to be with them. Yeah,
I love that. I think that's good, because I do feel like there's specific things that will be trending, right? Or like certain personalities, things like that. And so I feel like if you try to fit yourself into that box to mirror that person, it's not gonna last.
Yeah. You can only keep up an image for so long, I feel like. And I don't know. And then I like that you said that I'm the same in person as I am through the phone, because I don't know, I've met so many people that seem so nice on the internet, and then they just have the biggest ego and they're not that person that they show that they are. So I don't know. that's why just be yourself. Don't do it just because you want to be famous and make money. Just do it because you enjoy doing it too.
Yeah. The other question I always ask everyone that comes on my podcast, because I love it. I love to hear it. What have you been reading, or if you do audiobooks, like listening to lately? Do you have any recommendations for us?
Oh, no. I like fantasy books. So I just read The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and I just finished the second book to that because it's a duology. That was pretty good. And now I'm reading... So on the plane ride, I read a few pages, but it's... what's his name? Tom Draco. Malfoy, you know? What's his real name? Tom...
I want to say Tom Hiddleston, but it's not
That's
that.
what I want to say.
I know who you're talking about. Draco. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, he wrote a book?
Yeah, he wrote a book about his life. It's
I did not know that. Dude, I love memoirs too. I've kind of been on a memoir kick lately.
Me too. I read oh my god, Jennette McCurdy's one. Did you read
I'm glad my mother died.
Yeah, I just finished that one. Tom Felton wrote a memoir called Beyond the Wand, I think. So I started that, and it's pretty good so far.
Dude, he's the OG. Like, I've seen some of his stuff online, and he, again, I guess I should preface this with he seems, because I don't actually know him, obviously, he seems like a really cool dude, too. Like, he seems very down to earth and very, like, again, real. Like, he just seems like a little sweetheart. Like, the complete opposite of Malfoy's character, you know?
Yeah, and then, did you hear about the whole, like, him and Emma, like Hermione?
Yes!
Yeah, so she wrote the little preface to it, and she was like, what you get is what you see with him, like, or what you see is what you get. Like, he's the same person. He never makes a fake persona or anything. He's just him, and I like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Dude,
seems like a cool dude.
Heck yeah.
And I know you're not on TikTok, but he was on TikTok for a while because everyone was really into Draco. Like, there was Draco talk. And, I don't know, he seems like a nice guy.
He does. All right. Well, we will wrap up the episode there. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was so much fun having you.
Hey, thanks for having me. This was my first podcast. I was really sweaty the whole time.
No, it was great. I loved it. All right. Well, y'all know the drill. Make good choices. Be a decent human being. Take care of each other. Stop posting mean comments on other people's things, and let them post what they want to post about, and be a decent, supportive human being. Please and thank you.
Ooh, that reminds me. Another thing is hurt people, you know?
Oh, yes.
And then healed people, heal people. So, you know, pick one. But
I love that.
Pick the healed one.
Yeah, pick the healed one. All right, y'all. I will catch y'all next time. Okay, bye.